All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, December 8th, 2020, and of course, we just finished with Week 13 of the NFL, so now it's time to go with Week 14. I guess there's still one more game to be played, but it's the Ravens and the Cowboys, and I looked at their Week 14 matchups, and it seems to be very irrelevant if they win or lose this one, so I just went ahead and started it. Right now, I'm 125, 65, and 1 for the year. Improved very well. I went 11-3 last week, could be 12-3 depending on if the Ravens beat the Cowboys, so we'll wait and see. But right now, 11-3. We did very good last week. Had a real rock solid week. So hopefully that continues into Week 14. The new pick'em method we tried for last week did a lot better. So fingers crossed. We got 16 games to get through this week. So let's get started. Of course. We'll see. But 125, 65 and 1, 11-3 last week. Doing quite well this season. That was a good turnaround. And so bye week, no bye week, 16 games. Let's get started right away. And right away we get to my upset pick of the week, I guess you could say. It's the New England Patriots over the Los Angeles Rams. The 6-6 Patriots are staying in Los Angeles to play the Rams after destroying the Chargers. The Rams are 8-4. The Rams are 6.5-point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. I like the Patriots to win in this upset because if you sort of look at the 4 losses that the Rams have had, they're 0-2 versus they've already lost to the 2 teams they've played out in the East. I believe that is the Bills and the Dolphins. I'll get to the Dolphins here in a second, why that's significant. And then I look at that, I go, seems like they struggle with AFC East teams. Now, they also seem to struggle with a certain, the way the Rams seem to be able to win and the way they get a lot of defenses to kind of get confused with what they do on offense is they sort of use motion. They do a lot of moving, a lot of audibling at the line. And teams that aren't super disciplined on defense seem to fall for that. And when you see that work, you see that they're 8-4 because of that, largely in part due to that. The 3 of their losses, I believe, are to it's like when you look at their loss to the Bills, that was kind of a shootout, whatever game. They kind of got exposed, whatever. But then you look at their loss to the Rams or to the 49ers and to the Dolphins specifically. Very, very well coached defenses, very smart defensive minds. Jared Goff was frustrated. He was very much thrown off his game. They were able to kind of not be tricked by the motion. They didn't fall for all the smoke and mirrors that a Sean McVay offense brings about. And when you think of Flores, he comes from the Belichick tree. So you would imagine that a Dolphins defense is similarly coached to a Patriots defense. Now, Flores was also the coach of was part of that coaching staff when they beat the Rams in that Super Bowl. So I would imagine Belichick still knows somewhat of how to deal with Jared Goff. And Brian Flores used that strategy for the Dolphins to beat the Rams this season, dominate the Rams even. And I think the Patriots can do that. Another thing, Jared Goff is 0-3. When you hold him to a quarterback rating under 75. He has won one of those games. I believe that was that weird Bills game. Or I believe it was it was just a weird game where he had a bad QBR and they won. But he's 8-1 when he has a QBR of 75 or higher, and he's 0-3, including the Rams, including that 49ers and that Dolphins loss when he's under 75. I think the Patriots can get to Jared Goff, sort of upset his rhythm, throw him off his game. The Patriots, they're going to struggle they're going to struggle to score, but I think they will be able to take advantage of it a couple times. They're playing very, very good football. Their defense has been on fire the last few games, and I think that continues. The Chargers aren't exactly a slouch on offense, and the Patriots did just shut them out. I don't know. I like the Patriots to win this one. I think Belichick's going to coach a masterclass here against the Rams, and they're going to keep their season alive. This is also my upset pick. I just don't also trust Goff in this game. That's all. So give me the Patriots in an upset of the Rams. I know a lot of people are going to disagree. There's a lot of games to get to. Let's move on. In this game, the Minnesota Vikings take on the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Vikings are 6-6 and the Buccaneers are 7-5. Bucks are 6.5-point favorites with the over/under of 52.5. The Vikings their secondary isn't exactly good. And with the way that Mike Glennon and the Jaguars just sort of played in that game, and it just seems like the Vikings' Achilles heel this year is their secondary. And I don't know how good their pass rush is going to be. I don't know if it's been good this season. If it hasn't been, I don't think it has been. That kind of plays into a poor secondary as a poor pass rush. And if that's the case, Brady and this Bucs team are going to be very well rested. Brady desperately needed that bye week to happen because he was getting tired. He looks 43. But he's going to be rested off a bye. I really like the Bucs to come out here and kind of put up a lot of points on a Vikings defense that kind of really can't stop people from scoring. But I do expect the Vikings to be able to score on this Buccaneers defense. So give me the Bucs 35-27. I just don't trust Kirk Cousins in this kind of game. It's going to be pretty high scoring, and I think the Bucs just have a better offense. All right, this game I have, the Arizona Cardinals, who are trending in the wrong direction. They would be losers of about 5 straight if they didn't get a miracle win versus the Bills. And then they will play the New York Giants, who are 5-7, trending in the complete opposite direction. Might be one of the hotter teams in football right now. I should have went with them as my upset pick last week. I said if they had Daniel Jones, I would have picked them. Should have went with them anyway. So now this week we're picking the Giants. Cardinals are 3-point favorites though, with an over/under of 45. I like the Giants in a very low-scoring game. The Cardinals seem to be a bit frustrated right now. It seems like teams have figured out a way to play young Kyler Murray, and it seems like they just are, they're kind of just, and the Giants have. It just seems like since the Lions sort of started it. And then like the Patriots kind of showed everybody, and teams like that have been beating the Cardinals and teams are copying what teams are doing to stop Kyler Murray in this Cardinals offense. And it's been working. Now, Kyler's playing with a hurt shoulder. The Cardinals are kind of banged up. Their O-line is falling apart. And if that's the case, they have this bad O-line problem. And if that's the case against the Giants will tee off on that. And I think that's just going to continue. I like the Giants to win this game. If Daniel Jones is back, I'm even more confident about this pick. I'm still confident with Colt McCoy. He can game manage enough to beat the Cardinals. Cardinals defense has also been very shaky the last few games. So give me the Giants to win pretty comfortably almost. This is another really good game. There's a lot of very good games this week that are a little tricky to pick, but you just kind of got to weed through it a little. All right, so now we have the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Miami Dolphins, 11-1 versus 8-4. This game, at first, it looks like a bad one, but it should be pretty interesting anyway. The Chiefs are 7.5-point favorites with an over/under of 48.5. My big worry is if this game does break down and become a shootout, which it very well could. I don't know if I trust Tua in this kind of game, this kind of this kind of scale, magnitude against this kind of opponent, this kind of pit pressure. Everybody's going to be watching this game. This could break down into a shootout, and if that happens, I have no faith in the Dolphins winning this game based on Tua's. Tua has a very accurate arm, and he's very good at making decisions on where to put the football, but I don't know if I trust him being able to bomb it out if it comes to that kind of situation. Big, deep passes, not like short little chunk it down the field. We need to go score in like a minute kind of offense. I don't know if I trust the Dolphins in that kind of game, and I think that's what this game very well could break down into. Could be a defenses be forgotten in this one. So give me the Chiefs in this game. Even if it kind of becomes a defensive game, I trust Mahomes more than I trust Tua in a close game. It's kind of like if this game becomes defensive, I still trust Mahomes. If it becomes a shootout, I trust Mahomes more than I trust the Dolphins and Tua. I trust the coaching of the Chiefs a little more than I trust the Dolphins coaching, though it's not been bad. It just seems like at every turn, it seems like the Chiefs are the smart pick. I'm going Chiefs. Not much to say here, so I'm not going to say much. This should be just a destruction of another team. But because it's a division game, it might be kind of close. It might be kind of screwy. Glennon's playing all right for the Jaguars for whatever reason. The Titans play the Jaguars 8-4 versus 1-11. It's in Jacksonville. Titans are 7.5-point favorites with an over/under of 53.5. I have the Titans winning 35-30. I would expect the Jaguars, with the way the Titans defense has been playing, to keep it close. But, other than that, the Titans should win this game. Be hilarious if they lost, though. Whatever. The Cowboys, they're 3-8. They could be 4-8 or 3-9, depending on how this game versus the Ravens goes. That's why it's asterisk. They play the Bengals 2-9-1. Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites with an over/under of 43.5. I don't care. All right, let's see. The Houston Texans take on the Chicago Bears. The Texans are 4-8, and the Bears are 5-7. Two teams kind of trending in opposite directions, and I have an exclamation point. I think the first time all season the Houston Texans have been favored to win a football game. They're 1.5-point favorites with an over/under of 45.5. Crazy, I know. I have the Texans winning. I don't trust the Bears offense whatsoever. I don't really even know if their defense is trying anymore because they've given up they gave up a lot to the Lions, to the Packers. And it seems like the Bears defense quits on this team once they realize the offense is completely gone for cause. Like, the offense is completely lost. I don't know. I don't know what the Bears are about to do. I think the Texans are going to come in here and throw it all over this team. Give me the Texans comfortably 30-20. Another game, pretty low stakes here. Neither team are playoff teams. The Denver Broncos take on the Carolina Panthers. Both are 4-8. The Panthers are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 46.5. I have an asterisk on this game because I might go with the Broncos if McCaffrey isn't actually able to play in this game. So I think he's good to go. He should be playing. But if he doesn't, I'm going Broncos. If he does, give me the Panthers in overtime, 26-20. This is an overtime score. That's why they have 6. They score a touchdown. And yeah, so I'm not going to say much about that game. I'll be very honest. There's not much to say. So those are the 1 o'clock games. We'll advance to the 4 o'clock games. Yeah, this is a classic. The New York Jets take on the Seattle Seahawks, 0-12 versus 8-4. Seahawks are 13.5-point favorites with an over-under of 47.5. I know every single Steelers fan is praying to God that the Jets beat the Seahawks, so the most embarrassing loss this year isn't the undefeated Steelers losing to the Washington football team. It would be the Jets upsetting the Steelers. Not going to happen, though. Give me the Seahawks 27-17, but that would just be hilarious if it happened. Oh, my goodness. All right, this is actually a really good game. The Indianapolis Colts take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Colts are 8-4. Raiders are 7-5. The Colts are 2.5-point favorites with an over/under of 51. This is like sort of a playoff game, I would say, because if the Colts lose, they fall out of like the playoff race, and like I think the Raiders could snake in and take their spot and become like the 7th seed, where I think the Colts are sitting, or it's something like that. They're the 6 or something like that, where if the Colts lose this game, they might fall out of playoff standing. So, like, all of a sudden, this game has a lot of extra weight on it, and I'm wondering how that might affect this game. There's the weight of the playoff race on it. The Raiders are a super young team led by a quarterback who seems to kind of come up small in these kind of huge situations, these big game moments. I don't know if I necessarily trust Derek Carr in these kind of moments. I don't know if I trust Phillip Rivers, but he at least has won games like this, won a playoff game, I believe. So, like, he's won big atmosphere, big moment games like this. I trust Frank Reich as a coach, a very smart coach. Called his way to a Super Bowl. He made Carson Wentz almost win an MVP with how talented he is as a play caller. So I very much trust the Colts coaching in this game. I trust the Colts defense a lot more than I trust the Raiders defense, which has been bad lately. If it wasn't for a blown call, they would have just lost to the Jets. The Raiders seem to kind of be on like rocky ground right now, not exactly playing consistent football. They're very streaky team, and the Colts seem to be pretty consistent with how they play. Right now, I'm going Colts 34-27. I just do not trust the streaky, inconsistent play of the Raiders this year. Very young team, still kind of finding its chemistry, still coming together as a young, kind of freshly put together team. I think this is a good young team with a good core. It'll just take a little bit longer before they can compete with like an Indy who's like ready to win right now. And I'm going to take the Colts because of that. This is an interesting game. Both these teams are in the playoffs. The football team takes on the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams are 5-7 and trying, despite all the craziness of their season. Football team still in a division race. 49ers are like an outside shot at making the playoffs. 49ers are 4-point favorites with an over/under of 43. I'm going to be going with the football team in this game in an upset, because I don't know if I trust the 49ers offensive situation enough to be able to pick them. Washington has like a top 5 if not top 10 defense this season, like statistically. And I think that's going to be a big problem for these 49ers. They're also very good against like the run, very good front seven the Washington has. Chase Young has been very good. And I think that's going to overwhelm Mullins and the 49ers front situation. Will Washington be able to score? I don't know. They were able to do okay against Pittsburgh, a really good defense. So I think I don't know, man. The 49ers, if they were fully healthy, they'd still be a good team. But due to their health issues, Mullins isn't the greatest quarterback. They're playing a very good defense in Washington. Very underrated, under the radar, good defense you don't really see coming. I got Washington winning 24-21. Ron Rivera is doing a hell of a job with this team this year. So, tough break for Shanahan. All right, 4 o'clock. Who cares? All right, the Saints play the Eagles. Saints are 10-2 and just winning everything with their defense all of a sudden. The Eagles are 3-8-1. I'm taking the Saints in this one. Saints are 7-point favorites, whatever. Who cares? All right, this next game is some bullshit, dude. I can't believe this is a real game on the schedule. The Falcons and the Chargers. Now, we have a rule around here. We don't pick the Falcons, but we had to pick the Falcons. All right, I'm not even looking at the screen. You can just see the pick there. It's sitting there. You know what this is. I'm not playing around. I actually took these shitheads, and I swear to God, if the Chargers blow this team out, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. I will lose my mind if the Chargers win this game. I will freak the fuck out on the Falcons. I will end that franchise. All right, let's move on to the next 4 o'clock game. I swear to God, Atlanta. Oh man, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't be picking this team. All right, the Packers take on the Lions in what could be a very interesting game. The Lions have a little bit of swagger after they fired their head coach. I don't know if it's going to be enough I don't think they have enough on defense to stop what Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are doing. Aaron Rodgers is on a quest for another MVP this season. He appears to be on his way to go get one, depending on what Mr. Mahomes has to say in Kansas City. But for now, I think the Lions will actually be able to put points up if Swift is able to go. Because, Green Bay has a little problems with the run. Green Bay Lions have a very dynamic running game with 3 different guys. So I think the Lions can keep this close. But I do think the Packers ultimately have way too much firepower for the Lions to overcome, and especially with the woes on their defense this year. But the Lions should keep it close with their offense. They're playing hyped up for Darrell Bevell, so give me the Packers, but I like the Lions to keep it very close. Those are the 4 o'clock picks. Sunday Night Football. Most people will probably disagree with me on this one. I get it. A lot of people are off the Steelers right now because of the loss to Washington, but you got to remember that Josh Allen is 0-2 on primetime versus the Titans and the Chiefs this year, having played his worst 2 games against those 2 teams. Now, also, when he played another good defense in the New England Patriots, he also played a very bad game. So in certain types of games, it seems that Josh Allen, he escaped with that win because his defense strips Cam Newton, by the way. But so those 3 games, those two of those games, he played very badly. 3, seems like when he goes against a very well-organized, well-orchestrated, well-coached defense in a big game with a lot riding on it, and everybody's watching, it seems like Josh tries to do too much. He tries to play too big. He doesn't take what's in front of him. He tries to play the hero when he doesn't need to do that. And I think that's just a young quarterback problem, and he will eventually get that under control. He will eventually settle down and get, just play like he does every other game. You just got to play a little bit smarter when you're playing a good team. You don't have to play hero. You have to play smarter. And he will eventually pick that up. That is something he will learn. Mahomes already knows that. But Josh does seem to have struggled in those 2 primetime games. He's now in a 3rd primetime game against the 3rd big team. Very, very good team as well. Very good defense. And when we look at the Steelers, I know they played badly against the Washington, but they did have this game sitting in front of them as well. So I wonder if the Steelers got caught looking ahead, kind of got caught playing down to their opponent, looking ahead to this game. I'm going to give the Steelers the benefit of the doubt and still say they're a good team. I know it's crazy. They're the only good team in the NFL's history to ever have been upset. That was the first upset in NFL history yesterday. People were acting like the Steelers were the only team in the history of the game to ever lose to a team they shouldn't lose to. But I get it. It's the first time it's ever happened. I understand we're all stunned that a good team got upset in football. Crazy. But I still think the Steelers are a better team, and I think they're going to be able to get to young Mr. Allen. I'm not saying anything bad about Josh. I think he's going to play a decent game. But based on past records, based on the way he plays, these kind of primetime games against these really, really good teams like the Steelers, Titans, or again, the Chiefs, this could be another one of those repeated performances. You're going to get the best of the Steelers in this one. They play up to their competition or down to it, depending on what shows up. So get ready. This should be a hell of a game. I have the Steelers winning 28-23 because I don't quite know if I trust the Bills' track record in these games. Steelers are only a point favorite, though, so very interesting game coming. Should be a great Sunday Night Football affair. Monday Night Football is Baltimore Ravens take on the Cleveland Browns in what should be a fun game because it is, it is a division matchup, so there's kind of a lot of rules go out the window. The Ravens are 1.5 point favorites with an over/under of 45.5. I expect the Ravens to be 7-5 or 6-6, depending on the game with the Cowboys. Probably 7-5, but So I got the Browns winning this one. I do not trust the Ravens offense right now. Greg Roman is way too predictable. The same thing happened with the 49ers in 2014. And as he went out, with Colin Kaepernick and everything, that's what happened with the Niners. Greg Roman became super predictable and they just became beatable. Right now, the Ravens offense is super predictable and super beatable. And Cleveland has a pretty good defense right now, especially with the front. Not going to be able to just run against them and kind of run trick plays with running. I like the Ravens have a good defense, yeah, and they'll be able to keep Cleveland in check a little bit. But I don't know, man. Cleveland's playing white-hot football. The Ravens are not. I don't really care if the Ravens coming off a win. The Cleveland's coming off a giant win. They're going to be at home. They're going to be hungry. Not a lot of people are thinking they're going to win this one. They got that chip on their shoulder. This predictable offensive problems. Myles Garrett's going to be in this game and could be a problem. I like the Browns winning this game. I think I had them splitting the season series, so give me Cleveland. So that's my picks. Yeah, so we did win 125, 65 and 1. We went 11 and 3 last week, 12 and 3 depending on the Ravens Cowboys, or 11 and 4. So yeah, so that's my picks for this week. I hope you enjoyed them. That's 16 games, so it was a little longer by like a minute. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully the picks were quite good. Let me know your picks down below. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Those things help us grow tremendously. We're on our way to 6K, so we're pretty close. We're at like 5,400. Thank you for everyone who's watched, subscribed, and joined the channel this year. It's been a great run. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Make sure you leave your picks down below. Make sure you leave all your thoughts and everything down below, whatever. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Leave a like, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of whenever you listen to this. Merry holidays and happy whatevers, and stay safe out there. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and blah blah blah. Stay away from people. Bye. All right, see ya. Go Patriots. Go Lions. Peace. Week 14. I can't friggin' believe it.